Brigid Sheils left the Bogside in 1955 when she was 18 to marry Joe Mikowski, the Polish-American boyfriend she had met when she was serving with the US Navy here. Outraged by injustices back home, she became an active member of the Republican support group Clan Nagai in the US. On the 4th of October 1968, stressed and exhausted, she took medical advice and left her husband and 4 young children in Philadelphia to return home to Derry for a change of scenery and a complete rest. She was 31. She could not have foreseen what lay ahead. Brigid arrived in Derry the day before the 5th of October march. She went with her younger sister Margaret, who was 3 months pregnant, and a film camera.
It was a symbolic route. We were going from Duke Street in the waterside into the heart of the city. It was the first time in 16 years that nationalists had tried to march into the walled sector of Derry. It had never been done. It was too much of a threat to the Union establishment, and so they banned it. That Saturday, the 5th of October, was grey and overcast with the threat of rain in the air. My sister and I walked over the town to where it was assembling. The mood was cheerful but apprehensive, as no one knew what would happen because of the ban. There wasn't that big a turnout, maybe 400. The organisers were disappointed. They thought Derry City were playing away that day, but they weren't. The match was at the Brandywell, and that's where the crowds were headed. My sister was 3 months pregnant, so I promised her we would stay back. But I had a movie camera with me. Linking arms and singing "We Shall Overcome," off we went, walking the short distance to the end of Craigavon Bridge where the RUC stopped us. They ordered us to disperse. There was much debate, appeals for calm, for a peaceful protest, but the determination was there. We were crossing the bridge into our city. So maybe half an hour later the march began to move forward. We were attacked front and rear by the RUC. They hit everyone they could reach with their batons. The vengeance and hatred in their faces was unbelievable. In the fracas, I dropped my camera, but I managed to retrieve it. About a dozen of us squeezed into a little shop for safety. The owner shut and locked the door and we watched. And I tried to film through the window. We saw the RUC bringing water cannons into place, aiming them at the marchers who were trapped on the bridge. As the jets of water thundered out at the crowd, people went flying in all directions. There was complete pandemonium, people screaming and cursing, the uninjured attempting to rescue those who were hurt as jets of water continued to knock them off their feet. I stood at the window, watching in horror, filming. That evening we attended a meeting in the City Hotel to watch the day's events on television. This was the first time in the history of Northern Ireland that television film crews had been sent to cover a nationalist march. Their footage provided the world with stark evidence of RUC brutality towards a peaceful protest. For the first time, Derry and its injustices had an international platform. Violence breeds violence. That night, a group of Bogside youths took matters into their own hands, and unarmed except for rocks and stones, they went to the Diamond to wreak revenge. They were met by gangs of young loyalists who come out to defend what they saw as their turf. The RUC came and drove the nationalists back into the bog. Then they went on a rampage, battering everyone they met. Everything changed. The 5th of October was the catalyst for everything that would come after.
future.